Niche. What is it? Why do you need one? Why isn't yours working? How do you pronounce it? We're going to talk about all these things in today's episode of Free Mama TV, so stick around. What's up? My name is Lauren Golden. Thank you for coming back to Free Mama TV. And if it is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. We put out new content every single Tuesday, and I'm just not going to lie to you. It's pretty good. So you're going to want to come back, hit the bell so you can be notified every time a new video drops. Okay, so in today's video, we're talking about a niche or niche or however you want to say it. I don't really care how you want to say it. What's more important is you might think you have one, but it's not actually working for you. And you know that because you're not known for anything or you're not hitting your financial goals. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how you can fix that and how you can actually find a niche or specialty that's going to serve you and help you not just grow financially and bring in more revenue and attract more of the type of people you want to work with, but also feel fulfilled at the same time. Sound good? Okay, before we dive in too deep, I want to define this word because I think that words really matter, and making sure that we're talking about the same thing is kind of important. So I went over to my best friend and most helpful resource of all time, Google. By the way, that is very closely followed by thesaurus.com. So if you're not using these two websites regularly, I have no idea what you're doing online. Okay, so niche. What's really interesting is that the second definition of niche is the one that I feel like most people are thinking of when we talk about this topic, especially when it has to do with business. And that is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. Now, here on this channel, we really focus on service-based businesses. But I think that's probably what most of us were thinking, right? A specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of service. That makes sense. That's something we can agree with. What's really interesting to me, though, is that the first definition that came up says a comfortable or suitable position in life or employment. Comfortable or suitable. Isn't that really fascinating? Because that's actually not what I see happening inside of the Free Mama Facebook group at all when people are looking for a niche. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the problem that ends up happening that I see a lot of my students facing, and I also see a lot of members of our Facebook community posting over and over again, is that they come into this world of freelancing. They discover, either because of Free Mama TV or somewhere else on the interwebs, or maybe because of the pandemic, the wonderful world of freelancing and this entire universe of virtual work that maybe they didn't even know existed before. And now not only do you know it exists, but you know that it's accessible to you. And that is like extremely exciting. But here's the problem. You come in and the first thing you think is,
what is the thing that's going to make me the most money? Or what's the thing that's going to make me money the fastest?
Those aren't awful questions, depending on your necessity and your drive for starting your business. The problem is they are one-sided questions and we're not looking at the entire picture. So that's what we're going to walk through here in just a second about how to find your niche, because I want you to make a lot of money and I want you to make a lot of money quickly. But if you're doing this with blinders on, based on what you see people hiring for in the Facebook group you've decided to join, or based on Susie Free Mama, who's sharing all of her Free Mama wins, and you're following someone else's path, you could end up in a position where not only are you not making money, but if you are making money, you might not be very happy about it. The truth is, you can make a lot of money doing anything. Okay. Is it true that there are certain niches or services that you provide or problems you solve that on a one-to-one service provider level are going to be more lucrative? Absolutely. And the reason for that is because the more people who can do it, the less you're probably willing, the less other people are going to be willing to charge, right? Versus if you have a specialty, you have a specialized skill that not as many people know how to do or is good at, or if you have a specialized skill that brings in a very tangible return on investment for the entrepreneur who is hiring you, it's also going to be easier for you to charge a lot more money. But that's on a really surface level. Any business is scalable. On the internet, I'm pretty known. I've been put in this niche of teaching women how to start a virtual assistant business. Okay. I had experience working as a virtual assistant. I also had other niches. I was a social media manager. I worked as an online business manager for a while before I became a coach and course creator. The niche that I've been put in is in the virtual assistant space. I've made millions of dollars in this particular niche. So if you only go into something because you think it's the most lucrative, you are not going to find yourself in alignment. So here's how you are going to get in alignment. Okay, we're going to start with what you already know because you're already doing it, quite frankly. So the first thing that we're going to look at is market. And by market, I mean the demands in the market. What do you see happening? This is what you're already doing when you go online or you go into social media groups and you're like, everybody's doing hashtag job op, online business manager. Like I should be an online business manager, but like you hate checking email and you don't manage people very well. And like you have no systems or organization in your home or life whatsoever. You're not going to be a good fit for an online business manager at all. We'll talk about why, but yes, there's a market demand. So the first thing is you want to look at what are people hiring for? Where is their interest? YouTube management, I feel like is huge right now. Social selling, which is basically being a salesperson in direct messages with people across different social media platforms. There's a massive demand for that. And way that you can figure this out is by going into different job boards. One of my really good friends and Free Mama Live speaker, Laura Kuvion, she actually has a Facebook group. We'll put a link down below and give her a shout out because she's amazing. She has a higher up community. She is constantly talking to 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners and helping them hire freelancers and employees for their companies. So you can do a lot of research online about what people are hiring for and what the market demand is. You're also going to see what going rates are. What are people willing to charge? What all is happening there? And it's not that you have to be right on point, but you have to be in alignment for sure. So that's the key when we're talking about niche. And these 3 things we're going to go through in a second. The first is market, but all 3 of these things are going to need to be in alignment for you to be both financially successful, but also emotionally and fulfilled successful. True wealth, if you will. The second thing, so this was external. This is easy. You can go find this out on the internet. The problem is a lot of people are stopping here and then they're just plowing forward and they don't understand why it's not working. So the next thing that you guys are going to want to look for is your strengths. And one of my favorite resources, can't do 2 things at once. I've had 3 kids, doesn't happen. Strengths, your strengths. One of my favorite resources for strengths. In fact, I just bought this book for one of my team members today. It's called Strengths-Based Leadership. And you can go check that out on Amazon. We'll put a link down below to make it super easy for you to go get. But what's really cool about strengths-based leadership, and by the way, if you love Enneagram or Myers-Briggs or any other personality assessment, in fact, we have a video on that too and how to use them. But if you like this kind of stuff, you're going to love strengths-based leadership. And the reason for that is because it's not just like, I'm a 2 or I'm a 7 or whatever. Like we're like, how could the whole population fit in 9 numbers? It actually breaks out dozens of different strengths specifically and talks to you about how to hone them and how you can leverage them and what types of jobs or positions or work might be interesting and fulfilling and like honoring those God-given talents that you have. The problem with stopping here is it's going to say, oh my gosh, everybody just wants a social media manager. I'm going to go be a social media manager. But it doesn't take into account that you don't have those natural talents to be successful in that role. So not only will you probably not find it fulfilling because you're probably not going to be that great at it, but it's like resistance. Like it's going to feel like you're pushing up against a wall. Every person has strengths. This is where I get a little bit of pushback inside of my community with women who oftentimes came from network marketing, don't have a ton of confidence in their skills and their strengths. And so there's not a lot of awareness there about what they are. So check out that book, but also talk to the people who love you most. Go back and think about what grades did you, or what classes did you enjoy in school? And where did you get your better grades? Like, where did that all come from? What hobbies do you have that you excel at? Like, go look at all of those things and like, where do you tend to outperform people? What comes naturally to you? What do people come to you for help with? And I promise you that you will then be able to connect some dots between how your strengths and the market overlap. And that's the space right here, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so we've got market demands. What are people hiring for? Where are people looking to grow inside of their business? Where's there going to be the most opportunity so that finding and closing clients isn't going to be something that's overly challenging because it's not something that people aren't even interested in, right? That's the first. And this does trend. There's always things that people really want, but there are always going to be trends based on marketing and sales trends, especially that we see in the online space. And just think about how much COVID shifted everything online. Opportunities for anybody who understood the digital space back in 2020 was like a no-brainer because every brick and mortar had to figure out how to survive on the internet. So there's market, there's your strengths. These are unique to you, but there's still a third one. there's also your interests. You could also write passions. Same thing, tomato, tomato. There's your interests. Okay. And yes, look, congratulations. We just made a Venn diagram. I'm not sure the last time you did that, but I've actually done it pretty recently. So this is what we're going for. So the good news is that a lot of times our strengths and interests overlap. A lot of times they do, which makes sense because I don't like a whole lot of stuff that I'm not good at. I am not interested in cooking. I am also not good at cooking. That makes sense to me, right? Like part of why I'm not interested in it is because I find it very frustrating because I fail regularly. On the other hand, I am super interested in everything that I do at the Free Mama Movement. I love talking. I'm interested in sharing my passion for working from home and being self-employed and growing wealth and managing time and marketing and all the things you probably find right here on Free Mama TV. I am interested in these topics. It's why I get passionate and why I move my arms. Like this is exciting to me to do. And I've been validated that I'm actually pretty good at it through people enrolling in my products and services and wanting to work with me and coach with me and being asked to speak on stages or on other people's podcasts to be a part of it. So there's like, it's harmonious, right? It's in alignment with each other. It's not, I'm really interested in this thing, but I'm awful at it. With that being said, sometimes that happens. Like there have been sports that I'm like, I really want to learn how to be good at this thing. Or like even chess, like, oh my gosh, my kids destroy me. They do. They're so much smarter than me. So it's not my best strength, but like I'm interested in it still. So that's why you can see they're not the same. Your strengths and interests aren't the same, but there will be a lot of overlap. And so where do we go from here? So when you think about your niche, you guys, you can go all in on definition number 2. You can go a specialized segment of the market. Cool. I want to work with realtors or I want to work with course creators. And that's awesome. On a particular service, you can be like, I'm doing social media management. That's what they need. Like I'm doing that. That's cool. But you're really missing the mark. And so many people get this wrong. Instead, or they get it wrong at first until they realize they've forgotten this. And then they make a big swing in their business, which isn't bad. It's good. It's good that they finally got it right, but they're beating themselves up over here when they wonder why it's not working, when they wonder why they're not making money, or when they wonder why it's hard for them to show up on social media or talk about what they do. It's hard because it's not cohesive. It's not in alignment with the rest of this. Instead, we want to go for niche definition number 1, a comfortable or suitable position in life or employment. Okay. In life, comfortable or suitable. This is how it's suitable. And I don't mean comfortable, like you don't have to get out of your comfort zone. You're still going to have to do that to reach your goals. But like, it's so much more comfortable to be leaning into something that we're good at. Replace comfort for flow. Like when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about, I'm just in flow. Like there's no script in this video. Like we are just going because we know what we're talking about. So here is the cat's meow right here. And why we weighted green. Green means go. Green means go. When you figure out where your interests, your strengths, and the market demand align, that's when we lean in. And one last thing that I just want to make really clear, when we talk about your strengths, it doesn't necessarily mean you already know how to do all of the tasks of the service that you want to provide. What it does mean is that you should be interested in learning more about it all the time. I'm constantly learning more about marketing and sales and funnels and coaching and all these different things and affiliate marketing, just all these different things. And then here's what's really cool. I go apply them in my business or with my team or in my life or my schedule. And the ones that work are the ones that I understand, the ones that I like, I come and then I feed that information to you guys. What's cool though, is that I'm naturally prone and wired to do these things. And I'm interested in it. And there's a market demand for it because you're here watching this video. So you just proved my point. Thanks for doing that. At the end of the day, you can make money online doing just about anything. Being a service provider, there's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you are struggling, I would start by asking yourself, have you found the right niche and is it green? Did you turn it green? If not, it's time to be honest with yourself about which one of these is not working. Are you trying to make money in a way that you think other people want you to or are expecting you to? Are you out of alignment over here? Or are you in alignment over here with your strengths and weaknesses, but there's not really a market demand for it? And we see that happen on like shows like Shark Tank all the time where they're like, cool idea. Nobody, it's not going to become profitable. It's not going to take off. So we want to find this spot, the alignment where all of them, where it turns green, all of them are in alignment. And I'm going to give you one secret before we wrap up, because it's important that you know this. When you are in the green, you're going to want to poop your pants. When you are truly in alignment with your interests, your passions, your natural God-given talents, your strengths, and where there's a market demand, it is going to feel scarier than when you were just operating in one of these bubbles. And the reason for that is because it is true to you, meaning you are now more vulnerable because you're going to want the success from this space a lot more than when you were hiding in one of the other spaces, not in sync and in alignment with yourself. So push through that discomfort. And I promise you the success. Green is not just go, by the way. Green is also money. So all the things you want, it's going to feel vulnerable. You'll know it in the pit of your stomach when you find that thing that makes your heart sing, and you're going to feel fired up and ready to go. And maybe you'll even wave your arms around like I do because you're so passionate about what you are doing. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If it served you, let me know down in the comments below. If you are still trying to figure out where there's a market demand that is also in alignment with your strengths and interests, make sure you download our 70 skills checklist. We'll put the link down in the comments below, but it now has over 100 services that you could niche down to. Again, this is where we're checking in for strengths in it. Am I interested in this? Is this also my strength? We've already done the work that there's a market demand. And again, all these business can be profitable and scalable. Really the sky's the limit when you're self-employed, which is pretty darn cool. So hopefully you find that resource helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want more videos like this, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. Talk to me. I'm in here in the comments all the time, and I spend my time producing these videos for you. So let me know what you want to talk about, and we will do more of that content. I will see you next Tuesday. All right, let's see. Am I gonna show backwards, or just show backwards for me? Oh, the Sharpies. That's gonna be so awkward if that's backwards. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay, what are we talking about? On the other hand, no, that's a bad example. Sorry. My phone is ringing.